Welcome to the Unknown Chronicles, where the veil between reality and the mysterious is razor thin. Together we'll unravel a tale not of ghosts or ghouls, but of something far more intimate, stitched into the very fabric of who we are. Have you ever felt it? That strange tug at the edge of your thoughts, the sense that a memory has been replaced or perhaps borrowed, that your sorrow doesn't quite belong to you, or that your joy seems or feels strangely secondhand? In this episode, we descend into the shadows of Oscar of D.C, whose story reveals a gift or curse that threads through flesh and feeling alike. A tale of stitching pain, weaving identity, and the hunger that follows. So settle in, dear listeners. Tonight, we meet the weaver. And remember, the needle moves both ways. Well, let's step into the darkness.
I never asked for the gift. It came to me in the dead of night, wrapped in whispers and stitched with the hum of something ancient. The first time I felt it, I was 6, and my mother found me braiding a patchwork of flesh, strips of something raw and pink woven together like a doll's dress. She thought it was a nightmare. I thought it was art. Now, years later, I understand what I am. I walk the streets at dusk, eyes drawn to the frayed edges of people, the way their skin doesn't quite fit, how the seams of their lives threaten to split apart. I can see the wounds they don't show, the things festering beneath, and when I touch them, when my fingers trace the invisible tears, I can fix them. I can take away the pain. But every gift has a cost. The first time I stitched someone, I took too much. I felt the rush, the surge of something warm and electric as I sewed their fear shut, binding the memory inside, leaving them hollow. They smiled at me afterward, empty-eyed, whispering thanks they didn't truly mean. And I felt hungrier. Hunger, I learned, is a terrible thing. It gnaws at the edges of my thoughts, twists my dreams into grotesque tapestries of writhing limbs and stitched shut mouths. I do not eat food the way others do. I consume emotions, feast on agony, unravel suffering like thread from a ruined garment, and still, it is never enough. Now I can't stop. It's not just pain I can mend. It's minds, memories, entire identities. I can weave a new person from the scraps of others. The girl who cried in the alley last night, she'll wake up someone different, her sorrow carefully embroidered into a stranger across town. The man who cheated on his wife. His guilt is mine to thread into the next broken soul. But sometimes my work unravels. Not everyone stays stitched. There are those who wake in the night with the sense that something is missing, that their thoughts no longer belong to them. They claw at their skin, trying to peel back layers that are no longer theirs. Some go mad, driven to the brink by the echo of what I have taken. They hear the whispers in their veins, the ghostly murmur of old emotions calling out to be reclaimed. And some find me again. Tonight I need new material. I find her sitting alone on the subway, staring at nothing. Shoulders slumped under the weight of something invisible but unbearable. She doesn't see me, not yet. But I see her. The sadness leaks from her in dark, curling wisps, threading through the air like unraveling yarn. I take the seat beside her and brush my fingers against her wrist. Just a whisper of contact, just enough to feel the fray. She startles, blinking as if waking from a dream. Her gaze locks onto mine, pupils wide, breath catching in her throat. I smile. I hope it's reassuring. "You're hurting," I murmur. Her lips part, but no sound comes out. She doesn't ask how I know. They never do. I reach into my pocket and pull out a needle. Thin, silver, gleaming under the flickering fluorescent light. Her eyes widen. "Let me help," I say. A breath, a pause, and then, slowly, she nods. I work quickly, my fingers moving with practiced precision. I gather the loose strands of her suffering, the torn fabric of her heartache, and I stitch. I close the wound she doesn't even realize she carries. She shudders as I work, exhaling in short, gasping breaths. I thread her sorrow through my fingers, weave it into something new, something I can use. But tonight, something is wrong. As I pull the last thread tight, I feel it. The tension, the resistance. The sorrow I've taken is too deep, too tangled with something else. I see flashes of her past, a man's face twisted in rage, a room drenched in blood, her own hands trembling as she tries to scrub it away. And suddenly, I realize, she is not my victim. She is a predator. I look up, and she is smiling now. Her eyes gleam, and her fingers curl around my wrist with surprising strength. A voice, low and rasping, slips from her lips. "You're hurting," she whispers back. I feel it before I see it. The needle in her other hand, dark and rusted, sliding toward my skin. Panic rises, but it is too late. I am unraveling. My thoughts, my hunger, my purpose, fraying at the edges as she pulls at the seams of my being. I fall to my knees, gasping, my own stitches coming undone. And for the first time, I understand what it means to be devoured. She kneels beside me, her breath warm against my ear.
"Let me help."
And then darkness takes me. After all, every tailor must meet the needle eventually.
Ah, what a tangled web indeed. Our weaver believed himself a savior, a sculptor of sorrow, a tailor of truth. But in the end, even the finest thread frays, and every stitch finds its seamstress. You see, dear listeners, the mysterious isn't always what lurks in the shadows. It's what hides in plain sight, like me, for instance. A smile too hollow, a memory too smooth, a pain that no longer feels like yours. Perhaps he felt it, that strange emptiness behind your laughter. That flicker of someone else's grief stitched into your dreams. Be wary, for again the needle moves both ways, and sometimes the hands that mend are not your own. I'm Thorne Bloodrose, keeper of the Unravelled, and tonight we've sewn together another story into the tapestry of the Unknown Chronicles. Join me next time as we descend deeper still, where the threads of reality twist tighter and the fabric of sanity begins to tear. Until then, sleep lightly and check your seams. You never know who's been stitching in the dark. Good nightmares, and sleep tight if you can.